am Maureen Tara Nelson of MTN Matchmaking, and I finally figured out how to do Friday Facebook Live by myself because I'm doing Friday Facebook Live by myself today. Now, many years ago, because I started doing this, over 10 years ago, I used to do it by myself. And it was just, I would have it on as I was matching people and as I was just doing things in the office. So then over the years, it kind of took on its own mission of singles writing in dating questions, and then my team would join in, and so we would all kind of take part in answering the dating questions. So today is going to be a little different because it is just going to be me. So I hope those watching will join in. And let me see if I can get comments up so I can see them. Let's see. Oh gosh, I hope I can see your comments. Again, I don't usually do this myself, so, wait a minute. Sorry. I'm just trying to be able to see if I can get the comments on, because then it'll be fun. So yes, okay, I have the comments on. So if you do want to ask any questions live, and please do, then I can answer. And if you want, tonight, my 2 really fun plans got canceled. So I am going to be matchmaking, and I've done the matchmaking, but I am going to be sending out probably 200 matches tonight. And if you want, I will do the matchmaking and sending out the matches on Facebook Live if any of my clients want to watch and say, okay, I'm ready for our next match. I can go right to them, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so maybe we'll even do that on the other Facebook page, the MTN Matchmaking. But, so I have my monster. I'm all set, like I do every week. I had a huge, before I get into the questions, I had a huge problem with Amazon Prime this week that my friend tried to send me Monster. And so I am new to my condo, if people don't know. And people have been asking, have I moved? I've always been on Long Island. Always. Even when the past 2 years I went national and had the condo in Myrtle Beach. I still lived on Long Island, and I came back twice a month here. But now, no more Myrtle Beach National Office, okay? It was not warm enough to justify me having to fly back and forth twice a month. So I am here full time. So that gets that question out of the way. I don't know who spread that rumor, but I've been here and I will continue to be here on Long Island. Okay. So I do have a new address, and of course I updated it onto the Amazon, but Amazon also has a map of where you are. And because this place is new, and that's all I'll say, it wasn't on the map yet. How insane is that? So they delivered not only my monster for my friend, but the things that I also wanted to order myself. They delivered it to some random place that was on the map. It was such a rigmarole, and it's not even entirely fixed yet, the situation. But imagine that you're in a new place and Amazon doesn't have it on the map. It was just unbelievable to me. So, but I still got my monster, thank God. Because without this, I could not do Friday Facebook Live. Okay, so come say hi. And if I can get this thing off. Get that live dashboard thing off. Nope. Okay. So, we do have a lot of questions, and going to answer your questions. The first one is from Dave. Dave said, is it appropriate to bring flowers on the first date? Now, to me, this is so interesting. Why a man would even question such a thing? Of course it's appropriate. Not only is it appropriate, it's encouraged. That's an amazing gesture, guys, for you to do to someone. So I was kind of shocked that in this day and age, guys would not really know that that's huge. If you want to impress the girl, you bring flowers. Okay, second question. Someone wrote about my haters. Okay, so over the years, I wasn't as strict as I am now with taking people on. I've always disqualified people if I felt that they were narcissistic or controlling, because that's what led me into matchmaking. So that has never been an issue. But nowadays, you know the term Karens, the Karens of the world, which I don't know if there is an actual age group of Karens, but I would say 60s and up. Now, comment and let me know if there is an age group, if that's correct, or if it's just the Karens that I'm running into are 60 plus, okay? But to me, the Karens of the world would come in. I know they would have no chance of meeting someone because they didn't have the positive energy. And if you put out negative results, you will have negative results. Negative energy, I mean, you'll get negative results. Only my success stories, they always have positive results because they're always putting out the positive energy. So I guess when I first started, I would feel bad and I would think, oh, I can change them. I could make them more positive because I have always subscribed to give me lemons and I'll give you lemonade. That's how I've always been my whole life. Even before the book The Secret came out and before we even heard the word manifesting, I was always manifesting my whole life. So I would try to help. I soon found out that I couldn't help the Karens. So I stopped for a while. Then I guess the pandemic happened. And then I went back into my feeling bad feelings of someone coming in, and the screening process it's simple, that you can't have a felony record, you have to be positive, emotionally stable, so you know what you want in life, financially stable, and looking for a committed relationship. Okay, so that's the first part, and that will get you an interview with me. If someone, I believe, shows signs of controlling behavior or narcissism, I'm not taking that person on. I disqualify many, many people over the course of a week. So that, just so you know, is most likely, I think, the best reason why people use my service, because they know I am making sure that no one's controlling, etc. No one's narcissistic. So, but the Karens, again, from the pandemic, a lot of them in particular needed love, because they were the ones that started off single, whereas during the pandemic, if couples were compatible, that would bring their love life stronger. If couples together married were not compatible, that's why so many people broke up during the pandemic. But people that were single before the pandemic, or I should say, all of the Karens that have come in were single before the pandemic and are still single now because they didn't want to take my advice. And if you don't take my advice, then why are you coming to me? Okay, so the question is, how do I deal with the haters? Well, I remember my mentor, John, told me once when I got into this industry that haters are only gravitating towards people that do things that they can't do. So you'll notice that haters aren't the people that can do what you do, they're the ones that can't. And they are not haters to the people that they're doing what they're doing to. No one does that. They only become haters to people that do things that they can't do. Okay. So to me that's always been confusing because I've always wanted to, help people and mentor them or promote them, etc. But I would get very upset over it in the past, and he would try to convince me that there's nothing you can do about them, just don't take them on. So since the pandemic, I have taken on some Karens. All of my haters are Karens. They're not good-looking guys. They're not guys. They're not young, pretty girls. So to me, the Karens of the world have always been my haters, and I'm never going to stop that, and I'm not going to try. So that is why people have also asked, why am I leaving up the negativity from the Karens out there when I could hire a lawyer and in 2 minutes take that nonsense down of the horrific, horrific lies? But the nice thing about when you don't partake in negativity and you rise above it is it doesn't affect you. So with me, since I've been keeping up the negativity of the Karens don't come into me, into the program. They don't try to get appointments. Well, they might try to get appointments, but they're not taken on because I know I can't help them. I know if someone is not going to take my advice, they're not going to be successful. That would be a situation of the other companies I worked with many years ago, that they would say, if you throw enough stuff at the wall, some things will stick. And I would be like, oh my God, that's awful, awful. I don't want to talk like that. So, so I'm keeping up the negativity from them, and the nice thing is it's keeping them and only them from calling. Because we've had people call and say, oh, I was going to have the appointment, but I read that. Always the Karens. So since that's all I'm losing and I would not take them on anyway, I have to say the greatest people are the successful, and that's another question which is ironic. Someone said, who's the easiest type of person to match? And that's someone who is smart, ambitious, they're ready for love. So they're coming here because they know they want to take my advice, because they know I have thousands of success stories, and they're attractive, both inside and out. So just say you're single and you're attractive, successful, ambitious, and you're not finding love on the internet. It's because you're too good for the internet. So here, I'm a private upscale matchmaking service. I have plenty of clients, and everyone pays here. So everyone has skin in the game. They're ready to find love. They're taking my advice, and it's easy to find love. The only time it's not easy is if someone doesn't take my advice. So that's the answer to the question of who are the easiest. So the people that are those that type, the easy type. Typically what will happen is you could easily find people on the internet sites, and you'll go out with them for about 6 months, and then you'll notice after 6 months, oh my God, it didn't work out. Well, no, it didn't work out because you're not compatible. Now, so I'm not only doing the screening process.
Iris Ryan or Ryan MT and Son.
Hold on. Oh, I have to change my daughter is on the phone. Hello, daughter. I'm on Friday Facebook Live. How can I help you? No. You're not on. She thought I meant on, but let's turn off the volume on that. Okay. And I wasn't even able to turn off the volume. Okay, so you will find, if you're in that category, you're the easiest for me to match. And you won't be wasting time as you're wasting time on the internet sites now. So, I'd like to also do a shout out and thank Maya Salon yesterday. They had the best event. They always know the best people in the beauty industry for everything. So they have a girl who did my hair. I loved how she did the beach wave hair, because it's harder than you think for people when you just say you want the beach wave. I don't know why, but it's very hard to find people that can do that blowout. So she was amazing. But they also had a doctor who did my Botox. Now, I haven't done Botox in 6 months, so I really needed it. So I got it last night. And again, remember, if you know anything about Botox, it takes 2 weeks to kick in. But I'm already seeing an improvement, because I would have all these lines here, and I know what people are thinking. Botox people are saying, well, they're laugh lines, you want them. Well, some of us don't want them. I don't want them. I like the way my forehead looks when it's smooth. Now, again, I only got it last night, so I still see the wrinkles in my forehead. But in 2 weeks I won't. But we'll keep up with that, because I have to say, this doctor is absolutely the best in Botox that I've ever gone to. And I will put his name up on Friday Facebook Live in the comments if you want to go to him. Or you can call Maya Salon and say, Maureen sent you, okay? Let's get to the other questions, because I have to start sending out 200 matches. And write in the comments, if you'll watch Friday Facebook Live, I'll do the matchmaking and sending out the matches on Facebook Live. And I usually have someone reading these off, so. Let's see. Someone asked, do I take on everyone? But, I don't even have to answer that, because I answer that all the time, and I've already alluded to that. No, I don't. I take on Long Island's best of the best singles. And I did 2 years ago start taking on national clients, and that's why I opened an office in Myrtle Beach. But I don't need the actual physical office. I can do the FaceTiming here regardless of where someone lives. So I can do national by working with my other colleagues that are certified matchmakers. But typically, if you live on Long Island, you're set, because of how many great quality singles that I have. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Can't say that one. Okay. I wish people, when you're going to send in matches, if you cannot make them X-rated, okay? I can't say that online. I can't. They'll kick me off Facebook Live. So, hold on. I just can't even read any of these. So, all right, let's just go with tonight. I am probably going to do Facebook Live again while I'm sending out matches. So you can tune in later if you want. I'll have the information up on the Facebook, and I really have to get back to work anyway, but it's not fun doing it by myself, believe me, and especially when I can't even see comments, so I have no idea who's on or if anyone's commenting, but I'll give that information later on, okay? So I look forward to looking back later to see who took the time and watched. It really means a lot to me, and this weekend I am still offering a 4th of July special if you're single and want to raise a bar, okay? So give us a call. Okay, bye!